Hi, this is How to Play Idaho on Piano by Nerina Pallot, Part 1. This is one of my favourite songs to play. Whenever I play it on piano, people are always really impressed. So I hope that this song inspires you as much as it's inspired me. Well, the first 4 parts of this tutorial are just going to deal with the introduction, which is that beautiful, memorable piano riff. It's in 4 parts. I've taken it from the live version of this song, which you can buy on YouTube. It's a video, so you can actually download, I think, like an MP3, not YouTube, sorry, from iTunes. So you can download it as an MP3. It's probably like £2 or something. I'd really encourage you to buy it. It's really beautiful. And I haven't taken it from the album version because the album version has strings and things on, and the live version is made especially so that the piano is really intricate and beautiful. Nerina's a London-based artist. She relies on her fans' support in order to keep writing and recording, so I'd really encourage you to check her stuff out. And if you get the chance to go and see one of her live gigs, they're usually very intimate. She sometimes chooses extremely beautiful settings, chapels, and beautiful other places, and it's really worth going to see. If you wait after the gig, a lot of people hang out, and she takes the trouble and the time to talk to everyone who waits to talk to her usually, so really encourage you to go to one of her gigs. They're really wonderful. One little last thing to say before we go into the tutorial is I noticed when I listened back to it afterward, I haven't played it for a couple of years, and I did the tutorial, listened back, the 6th note on the live version is, I've played it as an F, it's actually a D. So if you want to play it exactly like Nerina Pallot, go back, you'll have to change the 6th note for a D. It's currently an F, so beat 3.5, it's a D, not an F, but I think it sounds really good with the F, so I wouldn't worry about it at all. Now we'll go on to the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so this song is in the key of F. I've written out the F scale here. What that basically means is we're only going to use notes found in the F scale. There is an exception to this, but we're not going to worry about that for now. It's the basic rule for the song is that you're going to use these notes, okay? So let me just quickly show you the notes of the scale. It starts with an F, then G, 2nd note, A is the 3rd note, B flat, you've got to take, rather than a B, you've got to flatten it for the 4th note. Thumb underneath there, C, D, E, F. So basically everything is white. Every note you play will be the white notes, except the B, which is always flat, okay? That's the thing you've got to remember. Other than that, everything's white, okay? So that's the crucial thing you've got to remember. These are the 4 chords for this section of the song. Here they are. Basically, we need to play these with the left hand, okay? So let's quickly run over how you do this. Basically, you take the root note of the chord, in this case a D. Well, let me quickly run over how you make a basic chord. To make a basic chord, let's take an F. You would take an F here, and then you go 4 notes up the scale. So you go F, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, C. We don't need to worry, there's usually a middle note as well, but we're not going to, for the left hand, you don't usually play the middle note. So basically we're going to play fifths. So for an F, you'd have those 2 notes. The first chord, however, is a D minor. So we're going to take a D, go up 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the A. Now what we're going to do first of all is we're just going to play these 4 chords, because that's going to be crucial for you playing the overall intro in a moment, okay? So D is the first one. The next one you're going to go to is going to be B flat, okay? So you take a B flat and then there, and then go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take an F, okay? So that's the second chord. So the first chord is D minor, or D, okay, oops. Second one is B flat. Third one is C, so you take a C and go 1, 2, 3, 4 notes up. And the last one is a G. So you go down to a G and take 1, 2, 3, 4 notes up. Before we go any further, you need to learn how to do these four, well, they're not chords actually, they're just fifths, the bottom and top of a chord. So, let's just run through that together. So first of all, I suggest you learn the root notes. So we've got D, B flat, C, and G. Let's just quickly do that. It's going to go D, then B flat, and then C, and then G. Now, it's going to get really confusing. It's going to be a lot of notes for you to remember when you play this piece. The long and the short of being able to play this well is this, from my perspective. Learn the early things well, and then the later things will be easier for you. If you learn these early stages really well, you can just concentrate all your energy on doing the difficult bits. This bit's a bit easier, but get it really solid, and then it will make the rest a lot easier. So first of all, spend some time committing this to memory. We're going basically from the 6th to the 4th to the 5th to the 2nd notes of the scale. So the 6th note is D, to the 4th note, which is B flat, to the 5th note, which is C, and then down to the 2nd note, which is G. So it's here, here, and here. That's quite easy. 6 to 4, 6 to 4 to 5. That's really easy. 6 to 4 to 5, and then just down to 2, which is the G here. Get that committed to memory, okay? So it's D, B flat, C, and G. The 6th, the 4th, the 5th, and the 2nd notes of the scale. Get that absolutely. Just stop the video and just run over that until you've got that absolutely committed. This is going to be the fundamental structure of the song all the way through. It's going to fall onto these notes. D, B flat, C, G. There you go. D, B flat, C, G. Get that committed to memory, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we've got to actually make fifths out of each of these notes. Now remember, you add the four notes up. So you're starting with the D, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the fifth. The distance is always the same. Let's leave the B flat because it's a bit more complicated. So it's going to go D, leaving the B flat, then it's C, which is just one back. If you lock your little finger in your thumb, you just lift, move back, 1, and then you've got the C. That's the C fifth there, okay? So you're going to have D fifth, we ignore that for a moment, C fifth, and then down to a G fifth, which looks like that. So it's a G and a D. So just get that learnt first of all. It's the D, there's 3 notes in between, that's all you need to remember really. So there's 3 notes in between. So that's the D fifth, C fifth with the 3 notes in between, and then G fifth, okay? This one's a bit more complicated. It would look like that with a B, 3 notes in between, and F, but of course B is flat, so it looks like that. This is complicated, I admit that, okay? So you've got, in essence, if you want to count the white notes in between, it's actually 4. But the important thing, I still see this as 3 notes here, okay? You've just got to flatten the B. So putting that together, we're going to go D to B flat, to C, to G, okay? Don't go any further with this song until you've got that absolutely committed to memory, all right? So D5, down to B flat 5. So it's a D with an A at the top, B flat with an F at the top, C with a G at the top, and G with a D at the top. Again, you try and jump forward now without committing that to memory, it's going to get really messy. Get that absolutely firm, okay? So you can do it with me if you want. D with a G at the top, down to B flat with an F at the top, up to a C with a G at the top, to a G with a D at the top. And if you want to, just the easy way of doing that is just locking your hand in place. Play, lift, move down. That's a bit complicated because it's a bit wider stretch. But then here, lock the hand in place and then move down to a G with a little finger, and the D's there. I don't know what else I can do to help you with that. You're just going to have to really work on that till that's perfect, okay? Once you've got that perfect, you're really ready to start moving forward. Now, there's a complication here in that the first chord is a D and an A. The second chord you've got to play. How shall I explain this? I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Okay, fine. So basically, now if you've got that sorted with the left hand, the next step is we can actually start putting this together. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the tune. Okay. So the tune goes. I'm going to get the template up here now. Now the tune here is. The tune here goes from the 6, which is the D, and then to the 7, which is the E, okay? For quite a while, you'll recognise that. I'll put the pedal, I'll use the pedal now as well, so here. So, So you see, you just do this repeated D and E here. So that's what you need to know. Use the index and the middle finger for this. Okay? Once you've got that, we can start adding this. Now, I've written a template out here for you. We're going to take this D5 you just learned, and that's the little finger, L for little finger, and this is the thumb here, okay? All right? So, you're going to go... Now, this song is in 6/8, which means there's 6 beats in a bar. I've actually counted it in 2 beats, 2 3-beat bars. It's really 6 beats, but I'm just counting in 2 sets of 3. It makes it easier for me. Now, we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and for the first half, okay? Now, let's just do the left hand first. It'll be the easiest thing. The left hand, you're going to go 1. On the 1, you can do the little finger. We're doing this D5 here again. So you're going to go 1 on the little finger. And then and on the thumb. That's what the T stands for. So it's going to go 1 and 2. You don't play any left hand on the 2. Then you play the thumb on the and again. Nothing on the 3. And then we won't worry about that index finger for a moment, okay? So it's going to go 1 and 2 and. That's all you need to know for the left hand. Well, this we'll come to in a moment. But to start off with, you're just going to go 1 and 2 and. Do you see what I'm doing there? So you're going to go little finger, thumb, 2, thumb. So you play on the 2 ands. If I count, I'm going to count 1 and 2 and you play on the thumb on the and the and. Nothing on beat 2. See, it's blank there. So it goes 1 and 2 and. You see how I've joined them up there? Yeah. So 1 and 2 and. You happy with that? Not that you can answer me. If you are, well, you can answer me, but I can't hear you. So anyway. Now we're going to do this left. This is the right hand up here. So this is the index finger, and that's the middle finger. Okay? So putting this together now, it goes 1 and 2. You see, so it's little finger, thumb, index finger, like that, yeah? 1 and 2. And then the thumb comes in again on the and. So we can do all 4 of them now. So it goes 1 and 2 and. That makes sense? 1 and index finger 2 and then thumb on the and. 1 and 2 and. Get that really good first, okay? So 1 and 2 and. Happy? Do it with me. 1 and 2 and. And again. 1 and 2 and. Okay? Then we just add the middle finger there on the 3rd beat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3, okay? Incidentally, this is, I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning. I'll mention that, actually, I'll mention that in the introduction. So this goes 1 and 2 and 3. So do this with me now, okay? I hope that all makes sense. I don't know how I can break that down anymore. So it goes, I'm going to count 3 and then we're going to come in with 1, okay? So 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? Do that again. Ready? 3. Do this with me. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. I'll just do it once more. It's pretty simple, really. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? Done. So that's the end of the D minor chord, which is under here. That's that chord done for the beginning, for the first time round. We're now going to go to the B flat. Now, as you remember, the B flat was a B flat and an F. Hopefully you remember. Okay. That index finger there at the end of this bar is the lead in to the B. So we're doing it backwards. Instead of going, we're leading in with this F, and then we're going to the B flat, the little finger here. So it goes like that. Okay, index and then little finger. And that's the beginning of the next section, which is a little bit complicated. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and that's the index finger, and then 1 there. And 1. Now this, I think, is probably the most complicated bit of the whole piece, is this kind of link here. It's a bit kind of, it just interrupts this nice kind of, you really want to do that, don't you? In fact, I think on the album version she does that. There's no link there. make it so much easier. But to do this beautiful live version she does, which is extended because there's no kind of strings and things doing their little thing, so the piano is a lot more intricate. It's a bit more complicated. So, but I mean, since we're playing on our own, we're probably going to want to do this solo one because it's going to sound more impressive, obviously, unless you've got a string orchestra in your house somewhere, in which case you might not want to do that. But assuming you haven't got a string orchestra, we're going to go for this one. So like that. Okay, so it's going to go. Well, following this, it's going to do this with me. So 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the index finger there. Okay, let's try that 2 or 3 times. So it's 1, so 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Happy with that? So once more, and then we'll add the B flat. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, we're going to add the B flat, the little finger there, which is the B flat, next now. You ready? So 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Okay, one more time. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Okay? If you've got that far, you are nearly at professional level with this song. You just got to speed it up a bit and it'll sound just like the original. Right, so let's do this bit now. This is now the B flat here. Now the B flat, actually, instead of going as you would expect, this is different. It actually goes, it just goes octaves. So this is your B flat and then octave higher. So you lead in with that F, then it's the thumb now goes on a B flat an octave higher. Okay. So this time the thumbs are going to be on B flat octaves. Okay. Like that. So we've led in with this. I'm not going to worry about that too much now. We're just going to worry about this bit, which is pretty simple actually once you got to there. Now it's exactly the same 2 notes up here that you've just learned. Okay, but you're going to go from B flat. It's little finger. Sorry, it goes little finger then thumb on this B flat an octave higher. So it's 1 and then you've got index. 1 and index 2, toddling with the thumb 3 and. Okay, so it's just do the left hand first. It's 1 and 2, nothing on the 2, and nothing on the 3 and. All these come on the ands, all these thumbs here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. So try that with me. You're not going to play anything on the 2 and the 3. All of these thumbs come in on the ands. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, I'll count in with 3 ands. So 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's much easier actually because there's this extra bit at the end here. So one more time. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay? And then quite simply add the index in the middle on the 2 and the 3. Same 2 notes. Okay, ready? So it's 1, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's actually frighteningly simple, really, isn't it? When you break it down like that. It's true. Try this again. So just B flats with the left hand and just those 2 with the right hand. Okay, so 1 and 2. No, I'm doing it wrong. So 3 and 1, little thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb. Okay, counting you in, we're just counting now. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. We'll do it 2 more times. Ready? 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And one more time. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, let me just have a quick look, see how far through the video we're at. 17 minutes. Right, we need to finish this part 1 now. Okay, so let's quickly just run through both of them together and then we'll finish this tutorial because I like to try and keep my tutorials to 10 minutes and it's gone way over each part is. So you ready? So 3, going from here, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? It's complicated, but if you're struggling to put them together, then just maybe just work up to there. Let's just put the little finger in there. Oh, we've done that, haven't we? So if you're struggling to put it together, just go back on this video and work on the independent components. If you get each bit perfect, you should be able to put it together. Just anything you're struggling with, just break it. Always with piano, if you're struggling with any bit of it, don't make mistakes. Just work on that little section. Just work up to there. Maybe add one more note. Then maybe add 2 more notes. Maybe just work on this bit. Whatever you do, break it down into small enough components that you're not making any mistakes. Don't just play it and make mistakes, because you'll learn the mistakes. So break it down. Let's try this 2 or 3 more times through, and then I'll end this part. So you ready? So 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and again 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and one more time. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay, the plan is this. You keep it as slow as you need to do it until you get it absolutely perfect. Don't try and speed it up unless you can speed up without making any errors. If you make one error, or if you make the same error twice, that's the worst case scenario when you're practicing this, you are going too fast. You make the same error twice, you're now starting to learn that mistake. That is how basically amateurs practice, and why most amateurs can't play piano very well and professionals play very well, for the simple reason that they have learned over probably 10, 20, 30 years of playing that this principle, that when you practice, you don't practice errors in. You just take the time to keep it slow until you're so familiar with it that you can speed it up a bit. Most amateurs try and speed up too early in the process and they learn errors. So keep it accurate when you're practicing it. Go as slow as you need to. Practice it over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, and then only then maybe come back in an hour or the next day, and then you can do it a bit faster. But just only speed it up over days of work. Even when I practice this, recently, I haven't played this for a couple of years or a year or so, and I practiced it over the last week, and even when I practiced it, I kept it slow, 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 until I was so familiar with it that I can speed it up. But you do not speed up and make errors. You keep it slow and practice it every day until when you come back the next day, you find you can do it a bit faster with no errors, and then you just keep doing that every day until eventually it's full speed. If it takes a month, it takes a month. It's a beautiful piece, and it's worth the work. I'm going to finish part 1 there, and now if you want to go on to the next bit, move on to part 2.